What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to run through what I used last year as my self-filming setup, my camera arm, my second camera angle, and I kept it very low budget, so I'm very excited to share this with you all. I know self-filming has gotten really big throughout the years, and I just want to share with all of y'all what I did during last season. So last year was every bit a dream season for me. It worked out perfect. 3 big bucks, and all of them self-filmed absolutely fantastic. Those deer gave me great shots, but leading into that took a lot of practice throughout the years. So a little bit of a disclaimer when it comes to self-filming. If you're thinking about getting into self-filming, you need to realize this is probably going to be one of the most frustrating journeys that you've ever pursued, even over actually learning how to harvest more mature deer. This is probably going to be even more frustrating for you. So not only now are you going out there as a hunter and trying to be successful, but you're going to be doing two people's jobs. You're going to be a hunter and you're going to be a cameraman, which means you're going to be carrying extra equipment with all your camera gear, and you're going to be carrying all of your hunting gear, okay? When you're in stand, not only are you trying to be a hunter, listen, pay attention to the woods, and do what we normally do in stand, but you're also trying to capture everything on film and tell a story while you're out there. And all of that, it takes a lot of practice, and you know, for some people it doesn't necessarily add to the value of the hunt. Personally, I have really enjoyed it and have gotten a lot out of it, but like I said, it took a lot of practice to get to that point. So now that I told you that, and you kind of have something to expect, let me show you what I used actually for gear last year. So I used a lot of all of my camera arms were 4th Arrow camera arms. I've got the regular stiff arm here. I used their new Talon tree base. Last year was my first year actually using that. I absolutely loved the Talon tree base. It's so easy to strap up to the tree, pack up in my bag, is a lot more compact than their original base was. I still love the stiff arm. You know, maybe one day I'll upgrade to a little bit nicer arm, but for now it does everything I want. And you know, it's not a whole lot heavier than what some of the other arms, you know, new to the market are, so I can kind of deal with, you know, maybe half a pound extra just to save me some money. So it's doing the job. It's done a fantastic job. And the cool part though is I added my second camera angle. I added the 4th Arrow outreach arm, and I'll put my GoPro on the end of that outreach arm, and I'm going to extend that out, and I love that top angle that it gets in the tree. It's, you know, you saw in my 9-point video, not only did I capture the shot and that buck challenging the other buck on the scrape, you know, with my main camera, but that second angle camera captured that situation as well and captured just a slightly different angle of everything happening. So I love running the second angle camera, and I will always keep that angle. What I'm thinking about doing is adding actually a third angle to like a second GoPro and keeping it more of that over the shoulder look. Most people, when they run that second angle, that's their second angle, is just over the shoulder. And I like that angle, but I don't think that should be necessarily the only thing you're looking for. But I would like to maybe add that to my videos this upcoming season. So camera wise, I use the Panasonic Lumix. This little bridge camera right here, it did a fantastic job. You know, I bought it used for 250 bucks. I can't remember exactly what site I bought it from, but it was just a used camera sales site online, and I just did some research, and it did a great job, minus the fact that, as you saw in my 170 video, it looked like it was completely dark. You couldn't really see the animal, and it really suffered in the low light situation. And the reason for that is because it had a very small sensor. It has a 1/2-inch sensor, which is the typical sensor size for most camcorders and original cameras, and in turn it doesn't gather a whole lot of light. So watching the video, I had a good ethical shot being able to see the animal. I saw him plenty fine. I was able to make plenty of a good shot on him. Obviously, he didn't go anywhere. I had a perfect double lung shot, but you couldn't see it very well on the camera, which means you probably thought it was too low light of a situation to even take a shot, and that wasn't the case because I had more light that my eyes were gathering than the camera was. So that's something that I fixed this year, and the second part of this video is I'm actually going to show you my upgrades, but let's continue kind of talking about what all of this kind of put together costs. I had a $50 Rode micro mic, little shotgun mic. It did a fantastic job, captured really good audio, and I felt really good about it. The only negative side is I wasn't running one of these, which is a lavalier mic, and that's going to be part of what I show you on the upgraded side of things. So, but to keep it all simple, basic, you're in the tree, this does a fantastic job. You just have to make sure that that microphone is pointing towards you in order to catch your audio, and you have to talk a little bit louder for that mic to pick it up unless you're really close to the camera. And you just have some things to think about more while you're in the tree. But overall, it did a fantastic job. It helped me learn a lot. You know, the stiff arm wasn't too expensive. Neither was the Talon. I mean, all that stuff. With the camera, probably I've got $500 in my entire setup just here that I used, and I captured honestly some pretty good footage. I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out last year. So I spent some money this year, so let me show you what I'm working with next. All right, so I switched cameras, and as you can probably tell, there's a fair amount of picture difference with this older camera than what I had previously with my new camera. And that is the exact reason why I upgraded and spent a little extra money on getting a camera. It's the kind of thing that truly you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? You don't have to drop thousands of dollars on camera gear unless you have a very specific goal of actually building a channel and building really high quality videos and doing something really fun and cool on your channel. But if you truly want to build good videos and good quality stuff, you need to spend a little extra money, and that's something that I learned through the years, and that's the exact reason I have upgraded to what I have upgraded, not only picture-wise with a nicer quality camera, but also when it comes to audio. Because if you don't have quality audio, honestly, you could have kind of a subpar picture with very high quality audio, and you have a much better video. Where if you have a subpar picture and subpar audio, very few people are truly going to want to watch your video, and it's not going to look very good. It's not going to sound good. It's not going to be appealing to the eye or the ear. And that's something that I really want to fix in my videos and help you all see kind of what I'm doing and maybe give you some ideas. Okay, so let's get into it. So the main camera I got the Canon RP, and the reason I chose this camera was because it had a full frame sensor. So I'm gonna go right back to that sensor size that we talked about. This camera that I'm using now has a 1/2 inch sensor, okay? This camera has a full frame sensor, which means I'm gathering over 30 times more light in this camera than I'm capturing in this camera. My field of depth is incredibly different when it comes to this camera versus that camera. You're going to pick up different color quality and just so much difference in the picture because that sensor size is so much larger than this camera in particular. And that's the thing, is you're not going to get a full frame sensor out of even a camcorder. You're going to have that at most a 1/2 inch a 1 inch sensor. I'd take that back, a 1 inch sensor, where a lot of the Canon, you know, a little bit more of the professional grade camcorders are going to have a 1 inch sensor, which is double what most camcorders are going to have, but it still won't compare to what this camera is going to be able to capture. Okay, so camera overall with the lens, I'm going to upgrade the lens. I'm going to get a little nicer one. It doesn't zoom in real tight as I would like anyways. It will get the job done, but it won't give me a lot of reach when it comes to gathering images and video in the field. And it's also not weatherproof, which, as we know, more than likely we're going to be dealing with some kind of precipitation as the season progresses. So I'm going to upgrade that, and I'm going to show you guys. I've got a couple upgrades coming, just a little bit of tweaks and just to add to the quality and function of the camera in field, and I'm going to show you guys that in a later video when I get those upgrades But camera overall was $1,200 all put together. So as you can tell already, I'm better than doubled what my entire setup was previously, and I mean the picture quality is so worth it. All right, let's get into audio. Audio, I'm running a Rode NTG2, I want to say, yes, NTG2 shotgun mic. I'm also running Comica lavalier mics. That's what you're listening to right now. I've got mine on person right here. My receiver is right here hooked into my camera. And as you know, if you've filmed before, you've got one mic plug-in. Okay, so how in the world am I going to run two mics on one setup? And that's because here at the bottom, as you can see, I'm going to run an audio mixer. This is just a cheap little audio mixer. I'm still tweaking my setup. I'm either going to run it on the bottom like it is right now, or I'm going to get a cold shoe mount and I'm going to run it on top here on my carrying handle where I'm holding all my other stuff. It's got some cold shoe mounts here on top. So I'm still tweaking that setup and trying to figure out what's going to work best for me in the field. But I got two audio plugins immediately into this audio mixer, and this audio mixer will then plug into my camera. So not only am I going to get ambient sound, downrange, the deer and everything with the shotgun mic, real high quality sound, but this lavalier mic system, I can whisper now. I can talk to you through a whisper, and I don't have to talk as loud in the stand and get your interviews and so on. I can kind of help show you along. Hey, there's a buck coming. Just stuff along those lines, where previously I would have to speak up or just not talk at all, right? So that's big. I got two big changes in my audio, obviously with the mixer, and one big change in the camera. And all of this stuff I am very excited to play with and actually get in the field and show you and build some videos, you know, during this hunting season. There's a massive learning curve to this. This will take some figuring out at the beginning and tweaking. That's why I got it so early, so I can have plenty of time to know my camera as best as possible. That way when I get in the moment, I know exactly what to do, exactly what buttons to push, and everything is set up perfectly to where I can kind of just film and be a hunter just like I did with this camera. I got to know this camera very well. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to switch out cameras again and finish up this video. All right, so I'm back to my main camera, the nice one, the upgraded camera. I'm sure you can already tell there's a significant difference. I can see it just in the viewfinder, the significance of the difference. I mean, it is a tough spot right here because I'm in the shade. It's sunny behind me, so lighting's kind of funny, but this camera is handling it like a champ. This camera didn't look so hot. So that's my upgraded setup. I'm going to make some tweaks to it. I definitely probably have some tweaks to my camera arm to make because it's a heavier setup. I've got some tweaks to make when it comes to battery life and a few things along those lines. So I'm going to keep y'all updated when it comes to my upgrades. But this is my $500 setup that you saw before. And this is my, honestly, it's probably about a $2,000 setup. I don't know if that even includes the camera arms. So I dropped some money on it, but it's going to be worth it. And the videos are going to look so much better. And I'm very excited to actually make some truly nice videos this hunting season. And all the videos, my previous videos you've been seeing for the last, 3 months have been made with this camera. So thanks for watching, y'all. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And I will see you all on the next video.